Right edition, welcome, happy day. President Ronald Reagan, he had a very famous line. He said, the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Think about that for just a second. Son of a gun, and here's the government right here trying to help. An endurance race. These are runners that race, and you talk about endurance, it's the toughest race in the whole wide world. It's called the Badwater race. Badwater.com. Look it up. It's been going on since 1987. And the runners there compete in 135 miles. 135 miles of grueling racing. It's quite an event. The new superintendent of the Death Valley Park has canceled the race for a safety review. Safety review. We're here to help. Back to what Ronald Reagan says. We're here to help. I got to protect you from yourself. That's a liberal. I mean, who are these people that like to see their birth certificate? Who appointed them? God. Maybe they were born God and they didn't share it with us. I mean, this is outrageous. This race has been going on all of these years. No one has died. And if I do want to hurt myself running, that's my choice. How dare you? But back to that liberal mind thing. They don't have one. It left the building. Okay, over there in the Ukraine, and that little country, that there's a piece of it that is ongoing, you know, with regards to Russia, saying we're going to take them back, or I don't know what it's all about. And you have the Prime Minister candidate going over there and saying, hey, you know what, you can't do that. How dare you? You can't separate. And he goes on and on. And just before that, he was in Israel talking about Israelis defending themselves. You make sure you defend yourself. You have the God-given right. Then you come back to his own country. You have a separation thing there potentially going on, and go back. And he says, well, you know what? If you have 50 plus 1% of the vote, you all can go now. Oh, with regard to defending your lives and everything in your homes and on the streets, you can't do that. You got to go to Israel to defend yourself, and you got to go over to the Ukraine to be intact as a country. Is he a hypocrite? I guess. Wow, or there's something going on there. The SPCA in New Jersey, Little Silver, kind of a nice name for a town. They got a big thing happening there. The authorities recently went to the home of a volunteer. She was heading animal cruelty investigations, and they found over 300 dead birds all throughout her house, but primarily in the basement. And the smell in both the garage and the basement was just horrific, apparently. And 99% of the birds were dead, which of course means that 1% of the birds weren't dead yet. So this woman is totally out of control. You never know who's who, and that's kind of it with politics and so many other things. You just don't know what to believe or where things originate from. A fast recap on that: you have Outback Steakhouse. It's Australian themed. It was founded in Tampa, Florida. Irish Spring Soap Company is manufactured not in Ireland. It's never even been to Ireland. You can't even buy Irish Spring Soap in the stores in Ireland. It's manufactured in, of course, in the United States. And Chicago Grill, it started off in Boston. And Texas Pete Hot Sauce is in North Carolina. And Arizona Iced Tea, of course, is produced and headquartered in New York City. Old Milwaukee Beer is brewed in Detroit. Who would have known that? Hawaiian Punch, of course, is made in Southern California. So again, you just don't know who's who or what they're doing. So you gotta use, like the Chinese cook said, you gotta use noodle up here, not noodle and soup, when you're trying to figure out who is who. And because people are pretty mixed up, which takes me to the last story of the day. Most businesses give political donations to all political parties. So who's who? Who are you really? What do you believe in? I personally know of many, many people who do this. I have an acquaintance, for instance, in Toronto, who owns a car dealership. He gives $10,000 to each of the 4 parties. Why do you do that? He said, I got to be competitive. You don't know who's going to win. And I say, hey, that's like going to a bar, seeing 4 women there, and you give them each an engagement ring, and at midnight you go back and see who's still standing, and then you say, I'll marry you. I mean, you know what? You don't have any loyalty. You have no faith, no concept. I said, it's not the government that's the problem. I finally came to that conclusion. It's you being the car dealer. And maybe you, if you give to more than one party, get a position, stand there, man up, and be somebody and count for something. This business of saying I'm rigidly flexible, whoever wins, I mean, hey, I gave you money, give me a favor. People are doing that now. The positioning in Canada, they're saying Trudeau might win, the Liberals, let's give him money. Oh, but what if Harper wins? Conservatives, let's give them money. Again, that's incestuous, that's dumb, that's stupid, there's no loyalty and no thinking that goes into that. It ain't good for the country. It's bad for the country. Think of the country, be a statesman. Be a stateswoman. Y'all come back tomorrow. More for you from the right. See ya.